Signage refers to the sign outside advertising your business. Trade dress includes the signage, but it's a bit broader. It's your whole exterior branded presence. This could include awnings, lettering on the glass storefront. Compass Coffee in DC, for instance, has custom dog docks where you can leave your dog when you go in and get coffee. That would be part of their trade dress. As a tenant, you want to make sure your brand has as much visibility and clarity as possible. Landlords, on the other hand, are often trying to manage the physical presentation of an entire building or project and want to maintain a certain appearance to the street. So there's a delicate balance here. So for tenants, the broader rights you have to display whatever signage and branding you want, the better. You may want to work with your design team to create a signage or trade dress exhibit that shows a few different examples of your branding and propose signage for conceptual approval. If your trade dress includes something unusual, think again of the SoulCycle example, who's got the spin bike out front of many of their locations. You'd want to address that here in the LOI. There's a whole range of specificity you may see from landlords on trying to maintain the approval over the exterior appearance. Almost always, they're going to require some approval rights over your signage and exterior trade dress, though at their least restrictive, they may agree to language that says their approval rights are not to be unreasonably conditioned, withheld, or denied, which basically means they need a pretty good reason not to approve your signage. If they're going to be more restrictive than that, they may have a signage program that actually spells out the parameters within which you have to work. Signage programs can vary a lot in how restrictive they are. If the LOI references a signage program, you'll want to get the details on what that looks like before you agree to it. The most restrictive would be a uniform sign band where all the retail tenants display the same type of sign in the same font in the same place. This has largely fallen out of popularity, which is good. The custom branded signage is your first impression of potential customers and has the potential to attract or repel foot traffic. Ultimately, the landlord wants you to be successful, so these uniform sign bands have definitely fallen out of fashion. In addition to the landlord, you will also need to get your signage approved by any governing bodies in your jurisdiction, which could include neighborhood organizations and historic commissions. Here in DC, if you're close to a national park or monument, and there are lots of them, you may need to get approval from the Commission of Fine Arts as well. Your GC will be able to help you get a sense of the kinds of restrictions you can expect in your specific location. You may also be making modifications to the storefront. While those will happen as part of your initial build-out, they're often addressed separately because, again, your storefront is part of the presentation of the overall building to the street. So the landlord takes a special interest in it. At a minimum, landlords will require approval over your storefront modifications, but like the signage program, they may spell out more specific guidelines in this section as well. In some projects with a particular attention to retail, the landlord may want to encourage varied storefronts among their tenants and may give an additional storefront allowance, or maybe the storefront needs to be repaired or replaced because it's old. There are different reasons landlord may give storefront allowance. Unlike the TI allowance, which is usually negotiated in dollars per square foot, storefront allowance is usually stated in dollars per linear foot of storefront.
Hey there, we hope this video is helpful to you. If you're interested in opening your own brick-and-mortar business, make sure to check out Dream Space. This live accelerator program prepares you to find the perfect space and negotiate the best deal. If you find yourself Googling for information on how to lease a space or what some of these terms mean, that's because this information hasn't been available to small business owners until now. Dream Space is the best way to find the perfect space and get a great deal on your lease.